so many screens open here. Everybody's going to smile and look and smile and wave. Everybody wave hello. And let's get started here. Here we go. Answer me.
Welcome to Read My Lips Radio, a lively hour of unscripted conversations with savvy creatives. Producer and host, akaRadioRed, asks novelists, artists, photographers, designers, comedians, actors, musicians, composers, screenwriters, directors, and technology innovators about their creative passion, inspirational muses, and how they create. Ooh, how those lips can talk. Now, here's akaRadioRed.
RadioRed is in the house with a new mouse that is not paying attention. There we go. RadioRed, it's Monday. Where else would I be in the world except here on the Creativity Show? I'm so thrilled to be here. I have one guest who's been on many of my shows over the years, and I have two brand new ladies. Well, not brand new ladies, a brand new guests. And everybody's so gorgeous, and everybody's smart, and everybody has a book. And we're going to talk, as always, about creativity. I have to come up, Rana and Julie and Sherry, I have to come up with a different title for the episode each week. And this one is called The Calling of Creativity. And oh boy, did I get a reaction.
Good. Okay.
You know the vocabulary I have to go through after hundreds of shows. It's really a chore. So let me just see. We have a couple of things to announce here today. It's March 30th, and I want you all, I'm not going to play birthday music, but I want you all to know that today is Celine Dion's 58th birthday. Wow. And I just heard she's coming back and she's going to start performing again. She hasn't been well. And today is Eric Clapton's 81st birthday.
Wow.
I know. And Nora Jones, does it get any better than that? She's 47. What a baby. Tracy Chapman is 62 today.
Wow.
What? And then somebody way from the past, Vincent van Gogh, was born today in 1853. I just thought you'd like to know that. Today, I have to tell you.
How old?
He'd be old, really old. Thank you, Sherry.
Really old.
I have to tell you, today is pencil day. I don't know what I use. It's take a walk in the park day. It's folding laundry day. I did mine last night. It's virtual vacation day. Well, we're here virtually, so we're on vacation. Is that something? It's turkey neck soup day. It's March 30th. Does anybody have a turkey with? I think
it's weird.
I know, but it is. It doesn't make any sense. And this one is for all of you. It's I am in control day. Does everybody feel in control?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Rana likes that. Okay, we're all good. And I have to tell you, this is a continuation of Shakespeare Week. And I have a quote, Hamlet's soliloquy, to be or not to be. That is the question. That's from Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. This is all from my Say What Good News show this morning. That's where I got it from. So now let me properly introduce all of you, and I hope you enjoy this. And when I call your name, which will happen several times, by the way, I want you to just wave, okay? There, and you all look so... We're streaming on YouTube twice. We're on Facebook twice, and we're on LinkedIn. So you're all very famous right now. So here we are. Welcome to the Creativity Show, where inspiration sparks the flame. akaRadioRed on her Scarlett Mic welcomes creatives who are at the top of their game. That's the three of you. The calling of creativity is our focus today, where passion meets action and bold ideas hold sway. Rana Walker, wave hello. Julie Melanson, wave hello. And formally, not formerly, Sherryanne Meyer, who says I can call her Sherry today. They're joining the show. Unique voices changing what you think you know. At our roundtable, you'll hear what's on our mind as resilience, imagination, and innovation align. And here we go. Rana, this one is for you. From Philadelphia roots to Accra's vibrant embrace, Rana's global journey began at an early age and pace. From classrooms to continents, where curiosity grew, her love of mind and spirit shaped all she would pursue. With psychology, health, and neuroscience in view, Rana found her calling in helping others renew. From Howard to Temple, where her knowledge took flight, she turned insight into impact, guiding others to the light. An Emmy-winning voice and a coach on screens afar. From Discovery Health to NBC, Rana's inspired many a star. Through mindfulness, travel, and truth, she helps others to see, revealing who we are and who we're meant to be. Rana, I hope you enjoyed that.
That was fabulous. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And
Great.
Julie Melanson is next. An adoptee raised in Michigan where music and family entwined. Julie's love of song, of poetry, shaped her soul and her mind. From piano keys to school plays where her voice gladly took part, she carried rhythm and resilience deep within her heart. Through a 25-plus year business career where data and service aligned, Julie rose to lead with vision, leaving limits far behind. From Boston's growth to global teams, she guided with great care. A vice president, strong, whose leadership strengthened everywhere. At 51, her search for origins revealed a truth nearby yet unknown. Her birth mother's path had often crossed nearby with her very own. Then, with less than a year together, I get chills when I read this, Julie. They bonded, eager to share. Julie now writes of resilience and the love that women bear. Julie, I hope you enjoyed that.
Oh my God, I have so many chills from that, Red. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And my good friend Sherry,
Wonderful.
here we go. This is a new one for you, Sherry. From
Let's
from
see.
Allentown roots to Catasauqua's small town start. Daughter of a steel worker, strength and stories shape Sherry's heart. A first-generation dreamer with ambition shining bright. Through Catholic schools and straight A's, she built her path with might. From office roles to retail floors where early skills took form, Sherry rose in a corporation, transforming through each norm, and I should have said storm. From secretary to global IT leadership, she took it all in stride, seamlessly blending logic, language, and creativity side by side. From SAP, where I met you, SAP solutions to stories that connect and inspire through writing, through speaking and branding, her voice carries innovative fire. Now, from screenplays to books where her own stories convene, Sherry brings creativity to life, bold, brilliant, and very much seen. Sherry, I hope you like that.
I love it. Thank you.
I'm glad you're welcome. So let me
Honored.
finish this part. So gather around where the cool kids and the cool vibes sway. Ladies, we've got to sway a little bit here as we dive deep into creativity today. akaRadioRed's energy lights the way. We hope to inspire you to live large, love life, and play. So what do you think? Oh, Rana, like that.
Amazing.
Oh, I'm glad. Have you ever been introduced like that before, Rana?
Never, ever, ever. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very
Julia,
special.
I'm glad.
Very special.
You're all special to me, and that's why I do this. And I do have a collaborator, a colleague named Sylvie, and I'll tell you after the show who she is. Sherry, don't tell anybody.
Sylvie, and you are getting more and more creative. I think they get better every time I hear them.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I do these many times a week for all of my guests. So what I'd like to do now is go around the table and have you tell us a little more. Rana, there's no way in 12 lines I could summarize your very interesting life. So I'm going to put you on speaker view, and we would really love to hear a little more about who you are. I'm going to use a very trite term, your creative journey. I don't like the word journey, but your path, how you got to where you are today. Rana, I'm putting you up, and we'd love to get to know you a little more. Take a couple minutes, please, and welcome. Go ahead.
So great to be here. Just thinking about my journey, my parents, they have been the creators of me. And just throughout my lifetime, moving overseas to Accra, Ghana at the age of 10, my brother was 9, was really life changing. It really helped me to understand that America is not the end all be all, and that there are people all over the world living very differently and very full lives. So that really shaped the beginning for me, just in terms of world travel, creativity. And my parents have created wellness businesses and done so many different things, created holidays, taking kids overseas. And so I've been a part of that growing up. So it's just in my DNA. And I've always wanted to help people to reveal who they are in truth, to see themselves more clearly. And so just throughout my life, I've been able to do that through whether it's television, whether it's writing articles or chapters in books, or just being the face of someone who is there to guide people to the next step in their lives. I've just been very blessed. So I would say just every day is a different day. It's a never dull moment. So I have to say, lastly, really quickly, yesterday I was in the Amex lounge waiting for my flight, and I was watching Blackish. I don't know if you know the show.
I love it.
Okay,
I love
okay.
it.
So
I love it.
all of a sudden Tracy Ellis Ross sits down in front of me. I was like, what is
No,
happening right now?
no.
Yes. So that's how my life goes. And she and I had a very nice conversation. So always in the flow. Yeah.
Wow. That's Diana Ross's daughter, which is
Yeah.
not
Absolutely.
even, it's a small part of who she is. She's a wonderful, I watched Blackish. I got to tell you, I thought the actors, their stories as real people, but their stories in the show were just blew me away. And I was sorry that it was canceled because I thought it should have had many, many, many
It was
more
a good
years to
show.
go. It
It's
was
amazing. Yeah.
wonderful. Well, that's very, very interesting. Okay. And just quickly, for everybody's benefit, your career in television, what did you do and how did you get there? Go ahead.
So it's interesting. So it started out with Survivor. So I made it to the top 50 out of 40,000. And then they sequestered me for 7 days in LA. And I said, I don't think they're going to use me this time because I really wanted to do Brazil and they were going to Kenya. And I was not interested in digging for well water. So they actually called me back. But by then I was not interested. I was doing something else. So it started that. And then I saw a little ad for Discovery Health. And the crew was from the UK, and it was the most magical experience. I got to actually be a health coach and help this one woman transform her life, but right here in Philadelphia. So it was really easy, like do a little and then go on. And then with starting over on NBC, I went to Brazil, came back, crashed my car, felt like my life was falling apart. It wasn't. It was just, chaos before beauty. And so I went down to audition. Oh, they can help me with my business because my mom and I had a business called Diamond Cutter, and it was a mobile wellness business. And this was back in 99 before people were even talking about wellness or using that word. So went there, heard someone talking about life coaching, and I was like, what is that? And they told me, I said, oh, that's what I do, but I call it wellness coaching. Auditioned 2 weeks later. So I took the road less traveled. I didn't go over there for the cattle call. I went over here, auditioned 2 weeks later, moved to Chicago, shot 207 episodes in 8 months.
There are no
That's
words.
crazy.
Rhonda,
Your mouth is hanging open.
there are no
Oh my
words.
gosh.
Hmm.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sherry just wrote a screenplay. That's why I'm glad she's on the show with you. I wanted her to meet you. The sun's going to come and put little polka dots all over me in a minute, and I'm not going to be able to. I'm just going to outrun it here. Thank you, Rana. Fascinating. Sherry, I met Julie and Rana at the Publicity Summit a couple weeks ago. February 24th was the date, and I get exactly 2 minutes on the clock with a monitor. I was in 17 breakout rooms. Well, you all met 17 media people, and I had to figure out in 2 minutes exactly whether I wanted them on the show. So while they were talking to me and doing their pitch, I'm writing, okay, Rana, you want a show? Yeah, you want to be on my show? Yeah, okay, Rana, March 30th. Okay, give me your phone number, give me your email.
That's exactly what it was like. Yeah,
That was I
exactly.
speed book. I speed book. I don't think a lot of
You were
people
so
do.
good. That's smart. I wish everybody else did that.
Thank you. Yeah, no 6 months of follow
I
up and
know.
chase me and I'll chase. But anyway, that's how I met them. So I met Rana for 2.5 minutes and Julie for 2.5 minutes. I cheat. I do 2.5
Well,
minutes.
they both have fascinating life stories.
Oh,
So
we're about to hear more. Rana, thank you. That was
My
great.
pleasure.
And let's go to Julie Melanson. I'm putting you on speaker view. Julie, we'd love to hear more
Okay.
of your story, please, and welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm an adoptee, and I grew up always knowing that I was adopted. I grew up in a very nice square mile in Michigan called Huntington Woods. And I went through Catholic schools and private schools through my entire life. Um, my parents, I was very fortunate. I had wonderful parents. I had a wonderful brother. I really could not have asked for anything more. I had a terrific extended family. On my mother's side alone, I had 15 cousins. My one aunt decided she would have 11 children. So yeah, we had a lot. And we grew up, actually spent a lot of time at my grandparents' cottage on Lake Huron. And we had 100 feet of lakefront. This was back in he built it in 1938. And this was when I was born, it was in the 50s, let's just say that.
Okay.
Had a wonderful childhood. And my career really didn't start until later. I mean, I always worked, but I would say my career as a vice president, working for a Fortune 500 company, for 25 years, and it was quite interesting. I was always really challenged by what I was doing. I loved it. I loved the people that I worked with. They became like my extended family. We're all still in contact today. Um, and when I retired a couple of years ago is when I decided, after finding my birth mother at 51, and I only had her for about 8 months,
Mm.
but that I needed to sit down and complete the book that I had started right after that. Um, and what was interesting about it was that I wasn't really sure how to approach it, right?
Mhm.
But what I decided, and I don't know, maybe she was coming through to me telling me this would be a good idea. I'm not sure. But what I decided to do was to write our stories in parallel. So, in other words, my 20s, my childhood, what that was like for me, what it was like for her, what my 20s were like, and so forth and so on. So, and that's where I am today.
And that's part of your creativity, how you
It
approached your book.
is.
That's what I try to
Yeah.
tell people. Say, oh, I'm not creative. I can't draw a straight line, and I'm not an artist, and I don't sing and dance, and I play lousy piano. And I say, you heard me say this at the publicity summit, ladies, and Sherry knows this about me. It's like you wake up in the morning. How do you dress? How do you talk? What do you have for breakfast? What do you do? What's your life? What are you doing in your life? We're creating it. My mom didn't give me a handbook. Well, okay, you're 6 months old, and this is what you got to do. And well, some people tell us, right, ladies, what to do, but that's not our handbook. We have to
Yeah.
figure it out. And
Absolutely.
I'm on my 29th career. Sherry, what was it, 19? It was 17 last time I saw Sherry, but I'm up to 29 now, changing everything. Thank you, Julie. A very touching story. And I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to sharing your creativity statements as well when we get to that. Sherry, my
Thank
good
you.
friend, I had a hole in the schedule for today, and I went to Sherry. I said, "Come on back, come on the show," because she just wrote a screenplay, and she said, "I'd love to." You did say that, didn't you, dear?
I, I did. I did.
Okay, all right.
Like, did I?
Oh my goodness, we know we text every day. We've known each other for years. Okay, Sherry, I'm putting you on speaker view. Why don't you fill us in what you've been up to? And I think everybody wants to hear about this screenplay. So could you focus a little bit on that, but with some of the other background too?
I
Welcome
think,
back, Sherry. Go.
thank you. I think you gave good background in my little poem intro. Grew up in a small town. My daughter also grew up in that same small town, both of my daughters. The daughter that I write about in the screenplay, all fictionalized, of course, is a musician. She's tattooed everywhere, beautiful tattoos, beautiful artwork. And she's married to a woman, and they have three boys. And they both worked at Wawa. Those of you who are on the East Coast are probably familiar with that store. And, of course, during COVID, they were essential workers. It was crazy. It is always crazy when you work in one of those stores because end up working different shifts. And I don't know how moms juggle daycare. So there's that aspect of it. And the other aspect of it is the types of people that work there. And many of them are like my daughter. They're creatives that, aren't making money in their creative industry. And they're funny as heck. Some of them are really goofy. Dumb stuff happens in the store all the time with customers and with the employees. And my daughter's pretty funny too in the store. So I took all those concepts together and wrote a television pilot. Now, not just like that. I took writing classes for screenwriting with Gotham. You have to learn how to actually lay out everything and how to use the software to set it up properly. So that was pretty much the first course. The second course, I got more into the story, and then the instructor offered us a master class. So in 10 weeks, there was a group of six of us. We finished our pilot and gave each other feedback through it. So
I want to
I've
go to
put
the
it out
reaction
there.
of the other ladies. It's like, what?
That's
Wow.
great too.
Crazy,
And
but it was good for me because I wouldn't have done it otherwise, right? Now I've been taking it out to different people to read and taking some other classes too here and there. Right now I'm working with Michael Jamin, who's a TV comedy writer. And, because of that conversation with him, I'm really going to deep dive, rewrite it, and narrow down the focus of it because I think I'm too spread out. But yeah, it's been a really fun, creative experience. And I'm also working on a memoir too at the same time.
aren't you a little young for a memoir, Sherry?
Well, you got to start as you're living it, Bonnie.
I guess so.
Right,
I guess
right,
so. I
right.
keep saying nobody would care about my story, so my kids know enough to write a. Never mind when it the time comes. Anyway, no, I appreciate that. Sherry, why don't you briefly tell them what your role in technology was, which is where I met you so
Oh
many years
yeah.
ago. What did you do? I think
I
Julie
always was a
especially will
creative,
appreciate. Go.
always wanted to be creative, but I had to make a living. I worked for a Fortune 500 company, and one day they came and said, "We're going to implement SAP." And I was like, "What the heck is that? SAP?" And anyway, I went on the project team and implemented it, which surprisingly, I said I would never work in technology. And it's actually a very creative business because you're not just sitting there coding. If you're really good, you figure out how to solve business problems with it and how to make the most of whatever you're given. So I really I latched onto that. I really liked it a lot, and through that I got connected with America's SAP Users Group, and that was a real outlet for me for my writing, not just in the company, creating PowerPoint stories and explaining the technology, but then with ASUG, going on the road and speaking and really writing a lot more. So over time, my last position was with Rising. I think Bonnie mentioned that. And
Mm-hmm.
they offered me a corporate communications role. They said, it's probably not what you want. I'm like, no, that's exactly what I want. This is awesome. And I was able to work with them and create their brand and their story for 5 years. So, and now I'm doing contract work with one of them. But yeah.
Wonderful. That's where I met you. I did a series. Well, most people know me as Radio Red here, but Bonnie D is my real name. That's what I go by on my other shows. So I met Sherry there, and we became friends. We bonded over. I was just so Rana and Julie know. I work for SAP, the world's largest business software company based in Germany, and I worked for them remotely, which was great for 9 years doing marketing. And I started something called Game Changers Radio for them
Yeah.
in 2011 and grew it into 48 different series, working with teams all over the company. We had millions of listeners. And this was
Wow.
on the phone, Rana. This was before I was
It
doing, and we did
was.
toward the end of the 9 years, I think we were doing it on video and Skype, but I always was doing it live, always live.
Mhm.
And then
Oh,
I got a lot of other clients as well. And I'm an early woman in tech from way back in the day of mainframe computers, key punching, standing on a step stool to put the disk pack into the drive, card
Listen, I
punch.
remember all that too.
No, I don't think so. You heard me talk about it. Let's get out of the mud here. That's too much. I told you we'd have fun here, but let's move on. Thank
Oh
you.
my
I'm going to go to
gosh.
the quotes. I've asked each of you to please graciously send me a quote from a movie, TV show, or a song that you're going to relate to your own creativity. And Rana, we're starting with you, my dear. And you have picked a quote from the actress is Sana Lathan. I like her a lot.
so now.
Sanaa, I
Enough.
never knew.
Mhm.
And the character is Monica Wright. She's speaking to Quincy McCall, played by Omar Epps. The movie is Love and Basketball. It's a 2000 year, the year 2000 romantic sports drama film. The scene, I'm going to read the quote in a second. The scene features a high stakes one on one game where they bet their hearts, symbolizing their intertwined loves. It's written and directed by Gina Prince. Here's a movie directed and written by a woman, Gina Prince Bythewood, in her feature film directorial debut, produced by, here we go, Spike Lee and Sam Kitt. Okay, very much. The film follows the two characters, Quincy and Monica, next door neighbors in LA, pursuing their respective basketball careers while navigating a developing romantic relationship. There we go. Okay, so here's the quote Rana has selected. I'll play you one game, one on one. For what? Your heart. Okay, Rana, what does this have to do with your creativity? Enlighten us, please. Go.
Well, just I believe that we're here to give and receive love and to be of service, right? And so when I think about creativity, that's a form of love too. You're sharing the innermost part of yourself with someone. So there's a lot of vulnerability when you share your creativity too. And I'm just a romantic, so I love it. And I love that they were that committed and that focused. And so when I think about my creativity, when I get laser focused, I manifest things like super fast. I mean, it's happened in my life countless times. And so I think about that when you say something, you put feeling behind it, then you manifest it. So basically, thoughts are things. And so that's where that came from. And I just, when I see that, I notice how many people want to have the end result, but are not either willing to, or the fear is holding them back. They won't actually take the steps to get there. And so that was just a great example of them very committed to basketball, very committed to the love they have for one another, and they were willing to fight for it. So I love it.
I like that.
I
Yep.
like that.
Having
Yeah,
the
that's very good.
ability to commit to fight for something. I think
Mhm.
that's way back when years ago, not when I started the show, but a couple years ago, I used to go around the table and say, what does creativity mean to you in one word? And very often the word courage came up,
Wow.
Mm, yeah,
confidence came up, and
yeah.
curiosity.
Hmm.
Mm.
Isn't that what we're looking to have the
Yep.
confidence and the courage to be curious about things and create. I just made that up, but it sounded good. So
You
there
so
you
good
Sounds
with
really
it. Like,
good.
yes, like I love it.
doesn't it? Yeah, I know. I know. I took improv
Put a
years
pin in
ago.
it and save it,
I got
Bonnie.
to tell you, I had a guest on one of my technology shows years ago, and she said to me, "I love the way you can just speak to your guests and just keep the energy going around the table." She said, "How do you do?" I said, "I took it. I used to have my own stand-up comedy troupe, but I took improv training from some really good people years ago." And I said, she said, "Oh, find me an improv class remotely. I want to take it." This was an accomplished woman, Julie. She was a vice president of a company, and she
Oh
said,
my gosh.
I like your style. I'm missing the improv in my training. So I
Mhm.
sent her a couple of links. I thought that was really cool. And it does help. Anyway, okay, ladies, let's move on before I get all mushy here. Julie has sent us a quote from Superman Returns. The character who speaks the quote, of course, is Superman played by Brandon Routh. I've never heard of him. I don't know anything about him, and I guess he played Superman. That tells you how much I follow the MC Universe thing. This is the 2006 superhero film based on the DC Comics character Superman, directed by Brian Singer, written by Michael Dougherty and Dan Harris from a story by Singer, Dougherty, and Harris. It sounds like a law firm. Anyway, Kate Bosworth is in it, Kevin Spacey. I won't go into that. James Marsden, Frank Langella. I've seen him on Broadway. What an actor. Eva Marie Saint. We're going back ages ago. Parker Posey. Superman returns to Earth after 5 years and discovered his love interest, Lois Lane, has moved on from him and that his archenemy, Lex Luthor, is planning to kill him and reshape North America. I will not make any comments on that last line. Here's the line that Julie has selected. Hope is, I almost got in trouble there. Hope is the light that
Oh.
lifts us out of darkness. I like
Mhm.
that one.
Mhm.
Julie, what does this
Mhm.
have to do with your creativity? I think we know, but please, I want it in your own words. Go ahead.
Well, I just think that, if you don't have hope, then all is lost for the most part, because as we travel through this life, and whether it be, as parents, as daughters or sons, um, as employees, as vice presidents, as authors, that we basically are starting over from scratch many times when we start through those processes. And I think a lot of times it can be extremely daunting. And what gives me hope and allows me to at least say, okay, you know what? I think I can do this, and I'm going to grab from everything I possibly can that's going to give me the ability to accomplish this, right? And a lot of that was hope. And so it carries me through from day to day, from month to month, from year to year, through hard times, through good times, when you can be extremely grateful for all the good things that are going on in your life. But we all need hope. We need to be able to move on and take a step the next day as well.
Thank you. That was lovely. I
Welcome.
started, Sherry doesn't know this, and I haven't told it to her. And ladies, I've just met you recently, so you don't know. I started a gratitude routine every morning. I have a little personal blender, one of those ones you pulse. It doesn't have an on-off switch. A little Hamilton Beach. It takes about 12 ounces. I usually end up going over the top and dripping down the side. We won't go into that, but I just did. And I use 1% milk and a handful of frozen sliced strawberries, sometimes a couple sprinkles of just unsweetened cocoa and a banana and agave syrup instead of sugar. I'm pretending I'm not sweetening it. If it's a raw agave, it's organic. I can pretend. Right, Rana? You get me.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes.
and then I pulse it. And instead of just saying, okay, I got to pulse it 12 times, and and I put a little ice cream in it once in a while. Don't tell anybody. Well, I live alone, so nobody cares. Anyway, so here we go. I'm pulsing it. And about 2 months ago, I said to myself, I want to take this time of me just leaning in and pushing the button in my kitchen. I live alone, so it's okay. And I started doing gratitude to my daughter by name And then I told her how much I love her and appreciate her. And then I do gratitude to my son. And then I do their families. I name everybody in each of their families. And then I pulse a little more in between. And then I say to my friends, and you, my friends know who they are. And Sherry, I count you among my friends. And then I say to the people I know or my friends know who need help, I'm sending good thoughts. And then I cap it off by saying, thank you for me.
Mhm.
And I list all of my names and I made up a silly acronym I won't tell you, but it's a little crazy. I'll tell you off air about all my names with akaRadioRed at the end of the name. And it just comes out anyway. And then I say, thank you for me.
I
And
love that.
and then I put the the pipe cleaner that goes in the plastic straws. I pipe cleaner the straw, and then I
Yeah.
wipe off, and then I take it and I come in here to my office and I work. So that's what I do. So a gratitude routine, and I think it's made me happier.
Mhm.
I think
Focusing
It
it's
on the
does.
positive.
Absolutely.
yes,
It does.
yes. No matter what happened, or how well or
Yep.
badly I slept the night before, or what I did, or what's ahead, or how crazy the day's going to be. I'm working part-time now. It's just unbelievable what it has done. And I think it's giving me a grounding of mindfulness and just, yeah, Rana, I know. And I just made it up and I like it. So there you go. So there,
I
anybody,
love it.
this is not a webinar, but you do your own version. But anyway, that's what works for me. So let's go on to Sherry Ann's quote. This is 3 words. This is the briefest quote on the show today. I don't know if you get a prize, but I'll send you a smiley face or
Prize,
something.
prize.
The quote is from Carmi. That's Carmi Anthony Berzato, played by the multiple award-winning actor Jeremy Allen White. The TV show rather, is The Bear. Comedy drama TV series created by Christopher Storer for FX on Hulu, 2022 to 2026. I understand that I think it's the last season. I'll
Yeah.
give you a quick synopsis. I watched season 1. It's loaded with F-bombs. You got to really hang on. And
Yep.
when Jamie Lee Curtis was in the Christmas scene and she's everything in the kitchen, it was like, I think she should have won a major new award for that.
She was amazing.
She is
Amazing.
talented. Haute cuisine chef Carmi inherits his family's Italian beef sandwich shop after his older brother Michael's suicide. It's called the Original Beef of Chicagoland, aka The Beef. He converts it to a fine dining restaurant called The Bear. He goes home to Chicago basically to do all this, to run it. He leaves behind the world of working in Michelin star restaurants. He has to deal with unresolved debts of his brother who is gone, a rundown kitchen, a staff who are all over the place, and they all have all their own ideas on how to do, and his own pain and family trauma, including his mother. Here's the quote, and this is many times during the show, I understand. It's a buzzword. Let it rip. Okay, Sherry, let it rip. Go. There's so many ways to go with that. I'm putting you on speaker view. What does this mean to you? Go.
To have the courage to take my writing and my creativity for myself. I've always written for everyone else, and that's a great creative outlet. But for years, I've said, I want to sit down and write a book. I want to sit down and do this. And I haven't had the guts to do it. And I think a lot of creative people, maybe not Rana, she's pretty powerful. I think a lot of creative people probably reach that point where they're like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have anything interesting to say. And it really means like, bite the bullet, be yourself, take care of the things that you want, achieve the things that you want in life.
I like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well done,
It's
Sherry.
true.
Thank you all
Yeah.
for contributing such interesting quotes. I have a bunch of quotes I'll read you at the end of the show if we have time that I've collected over time on the show. So now it's time to go to our creativity statements. I'm just looking here really quickly at Rana's, and this one, we got to do this. This is just so provocative. And I know that Julie and Sherry are going to have something to say. Rana says, I'm quoting Rana, I am most creative when I'm in the shower. Yes, any thought I have while showering allows the water to soothe my soul and provides the opportunity for me to generate solutions to problems. She also says she's most creative when she goes out in nature, but we're going to focus on the shower statement. So, Rana, you knew I'd pick that one,
Love it.
didn't you? You knew I would. Rana, why don't you take a couple minutes? I'm putting you back on speaker view. Everybody's so gorgeous here today. And I want people to hear you talk about how hot is the water and is there a moment and what does it all mean? Because listen, we're all inspired. we're all inspired at different places and different times, and thoughts
Mhm.
bubble up. So I want to know, I think you're the first person on this show ever, maybe the second one, to talk about creativity in the shower. Rana, rescue me, please. Go ahead.
Alrighty. So for me, when I'm in the shower, I feel the calmest. And I'm pretty like all day long, doing 20,000 things. So for me, it's a time to really allow the water to just soothe me. And it's like it opens up a portal. And so if it's something I was thinking about, I couldn't solve, or I was just trying to figure out how to navigate something, being in the shower allows that to happen. And we talked about just creativity and being vulnerable. That's my most vulnerable state. I'm naked in the shower. It's just me and the water, and I'm in the shower. And so that works for me. And it reminds me of when I was on Maui. I was under a waterfall, and that was one of two times in my life where I felt fully present, like knowing that I was part of the universe. And so feeling in complete alignment. The other is when I actually did mindfulness at a prison for men. When I tell you amazing, and it's like all of your senses line up and everything is in alignment, and you know right there at that moment that's exactly where you're supposed to be.
That is powerful. Let's go around the table. Julie, Sherry, I want you both to please say something about this. Julie, you look like you're thinking about it.
I'm thinking about her being in the shower and I'm just thinking that
Don't take
I
that
can
the wrong. It's not that kind
no,
of.
I can totally relate to that because I can remember now when I shower, I'm fast. I'm very fast.
Yeah.
But when I was working and I would have that time in the morning, and I'd be working through a problem and be in there with the water cascading down you.
Mhm.
It's a great time to work through an issue. It's a great time to have some clarity of thought. And so I can totally relate to that. And yeah, I totally get that. Totally. I would have my biggest epiphanies in the shower.
There
Right,
you
Julie?
see why
Yeah.
we do a round
Right?
table here? Unique
Exactly.
Yeah.
and shared insights. Sherry, what do you
I think
think?
I need to spend more time in the shower. For me, it's like zip, zip, done. And also, I have rarely in my life been alone in the bathroom, which I told my
Ah,
daughters when they were like, "Yeah, that's how long ago I was born." I said, "Yeah, you guys don't leave me alone. It's either them or the dogs."
Get
Oh,
that.
there
Totally
you
get the
go.
dogs.
There you
Yep.
go. I'll have to think about that more. I put in a new shower. I bought this house 3.5 years ago, and I've done a lot of upgrades and renovations. But I put in a beautiful custom shower, and it has a great big handheld thing. And
oh,
I
I
just
love
use that
those.
as the shower head because it's got the not the waterfall, but it's got a whole bunch of things. And I just
Yeah.
stand under it, and I say to myself, this just feels good.
Hmm.
I'm glad I'm here. I don't think I come up with any brilliant thoughts, but other than what's on the floor and how do I get the stain? I use red shampoo. Oh, don't tell anybody. Anyway, once in a while, a little too much. Okay, thank you, Rana. That was lovely. Thank you. I had to pick that one. So let's go to Julie. And
Oh
Julie,
boy.
I'm going to pick your first creativity statement, and this is what you told me. I love an empty room where I can create from
Mm.
scratch. The genre, the colors, the richness of the room is my goal. Please unpack that. I don't know that I fully understand it. So, what does this all mean, Julie?
Okay.
Please share. Go.
I think I'd have a dampened I wanted to be like an interior decorator for so many years and I could never do it. But anyway, I love doing it and I love it so much. I can't tell you how many rooms just for myself because I'll get bored with something and say, "Oh, I want to try something new," or "What if we did this?" And as a result of that, I have furnished a lot of my family's homes because they take the things that I have decided are perfectly fine, but I'm tired of, and I want to
Mhm.
start over. And then I have people that have asked me to give them some input on things like in their house. And I love that. It's like it's such a great way to be creative. And it's something I think I kind of just grew into. If I could do that for my whole life, can you imagine how exciting that would be?
I think your life is
Yeah.
exciting, but that would certainly
Oh,
be
thank you.
interesting. Anything, Rana or Julie, you want to say? I'm sorry, Rana or Sherry, you want to say to Julie? I get my ladies mixed up here. What do you think? Rana, looks like you've got something there.
I totally get that.
Sherry, go ahead.
Yeah, I totally get that. I always say if I would have known it was a thing I could do when I was younger, I would have been an architect because I
Yeah.
love buildings and houses and I love what they're doing. Like when they create a new restaurant, all the, they take a blank space, rip out things and create this beautiful space that you feel good in. I could totally relate to that.
Yeah.
Rana, thoughts?
This,
It just made me think of a blank canvas and
Yeah.
having limitless possibilities. I'm looking around this room that has white, as you see, it's all white around. And I was just imagining when you have this space, the sky's the limit. You don't have to feel like you have to go in a certain direction based on colors that may already be present or furniture,
Mhm.
but just taking a blank canvas and creating what you want. I love that.
Julie, I have to
yeah.
tell you, when I lived in Durham, North Carolina, I went in and I painted. I had a painter come in and I loved candy apple red. And there was one wall in what most people used as a dining room. That was my mom's baby grand piano went in there. And
Oh,
it had
wow.
its own corner. So it was a
Nice.
great big open plan room with everything
Yeah.
there. The kitchen, living room. It was a big house. It was about 2,000 square feet, but that's the way it was designed. And I painted one wall, and then there was an archway when you came in from the front door before you entered the living room, kitchen, dining room area. There was I painted that red like a feature. And then I
Ooh.
painted, I think, the laundry room a light lavender. And one bathroom was, I call it almost, it wasn't melon pinky. It was more of a yellow melon color. Not melancholy, but that was, I just saw a cartoon about
Color,
that today.
color.
It was
Yeah.
some, it was a little like gold, sun gold, but more pink and salmon, you might call it. And then the other bathroom, I think a light color somewhere. And I had a dark gray wall behind the bed,
Mm.
feature wall, and the bed was against there. And then shiny black furniture. I have the old what's left of mica furniture. I don't think they make too much anymore. But here's the problem. When I went to sell the house and I put in red, like
Oh.
starry night red quartz countertops and backsplash in the kitchen. Well, my realtor who had sold me the house, who had sold, he was my daughter's neighbor and he sold her house and sold it for them. He said, "Are you serious?" He said, "You think somebody's going to buy a house with red walls and lavender laundry room and salmon colored bathroom and a gray wall in the bedroom?" He forgave me. And I said, "Well,
They
listen, I'm
might.
not I'm not paying to have I had a great big center island and I put white sparkly the quartz there, but the backsplash and the counters were this bright red. It was just absolutely
Ugh,
gorgeous."
that's
And
beautiful.
I said, "I'm not replacing that," but he made me paint the walls. He made me paint them white.
How long
That's
did it take you
brutal.
to get an offer then?
It took about 6 weeks, I think, and the woman had
Well, that's not
plans to do.
bad.
She was going
Interesting.
to put in little
That's
cubbies
not bad.
underneath the counter and all of that, and it was just
Yeah.
very, very interesting. She knew a lot of people in the neighborhood, she and her husband, and they had wanted to find a house. It was on the water. It was on a pond that we all shared, 20 homes around a pond. Anyway, so I learned my lesson is you can decorate your house any way you want, honey, but when it
Mhm.
comes time to sell, you know what Ron, am I right? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. The one wall painted red, that doesn't bother me, and nor does the lavender in the laundry room. I mean, I could see how the tiles somebody might not like in the kitchen, but
Anyway, I was told, but thank you very much, Julie. I
You're
appreciated the
welcome.
thought. I look at rooms here and I say, nope, I can't. I just leave them. There, this is a light yellow in this room.
fine.
This was
You
the
only live
second.
once.
I know, but this was the bedroom, the guest, bigger guest bedroom. I walked in the day I moved. The 50-foot, 3-foot truck was here, and I said, "This is my office. It's got a front side facing window with a big thing on
That's
top of
right.
it, and it's got closets, and I can put my computers in here and my print and everything I need. And
Perfect.
this is my cave here. So let's go to Sherry. Sherry, I'm combining two of your creativity statements. Number one, you say, "I get ideas from things I read or see. So I'm constantly creating, taking notes in my phone." That's the first one. And the second one, you say, "I am most awake and alert for writing in the morning. And I will often sit to
Mhm.
work, but only if I have a burning idea or a thought to get on paper." Interesting. And the sun's going to just beat the heck out of me here.
Yeah,
So
I see the sun.
go ahead, Sherry. I'm not going to get up and we don't have enough time left for me to go and to move the blind. So
I am
I'll just keep moving.
I
Go.
am a pain in the ass to work for because everything I would read when people were reporting to me, I'd be like, I have this great idea. And then I'd have them execute it, right? But anything I read or hear, a podcast, a newspaper, like I connect dots in my head, and I will just try. If I'm driving, I'll just say, Siri, take a note. And I have this collection of notes in there because I can't write while I'm driving. Um, when I'm really sitting down to write, I sit exactly where I am now in my study. But the creative process is like all the time. Like anything I hear or see, I'll be out with people and they'll say something stupid. And in the family, I'll say, "Oh, wait, let me write that down. That's funny."
All the time. I'm going to read you something. Let me go back to gallery view before well, let's see what Julie and Rana have to say about getting ideas all the time. Rana, thoughts?
Yeah, so I have tons of notes in my notes app on my iPhone. But just sidebar, it makes me think of my dad. So he wrote this book of insights, and we would be out and he'd say, "Let me get a napkin." He would write stuff on napkins just everywhere. And so I just think it's important to, and I listened to one of your episodes earlier, Radio Red, and they
Thank
were
you.
talking about writing. And one of the things that really came to me was one person said they had their laptop at the stoplight so they could write notes. They were writing.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
yeah, it was a
How
little
long was
dangerous,
the light?
right? Right. But it was one of your guests, and he said
Oh,
that's what he
Okay.
does. So it made me think about all those things about capturing things in the moment.
Where does that person live and drive around?
yeah,
A lot of country roads. Julie, any comments about
exactly.
what Sherry said, Julie?
I love that. I do the same thing. I have a ton of notes and I'm constantly writing things in my notes app. I think one of my favorite times to get ideas is we live on Lake Huron now. And so I take my Portuguese water dogs to the beach, put my feet in the sand so I'm nice and grounded. We don't allow my husband to come because he has too many rules and we don't want that. So we
That would
walk
be
the beach.
distracting,
Wait
right?
a
We
minute. You're
we
just gonna
we
fly
walk the
by
beach.
that one? Are you
Oh
kidding?
yeah.
Oh
Oh
my, wait a
yeah.
minute.
Oh
I
yeah.
think we need some, hold on. I think we need some something here. Here we go. I'm sorry. I save those clips for the moments like this.
I love
Please
it.
go ahead, Julie.
That's just a great time. I get a lot of thoughts and ideas, and that's kind of when I do like my motion meditating, right? Thinking about the
Hmm.
people that I want to hold in light or that
Oh,
need extra prayers, and so that's when I do
oh.
that. And my Portuguese water dogs. One is named after my mother-in-law, Ome, where my
Huh.
mother-in-law was born in Japan, a little village in Japan. And
Mm.
my other one is named Healy, which was my birth mother's last name. And then Healy
Mm.
Pass is in Ireland. So we take our journey, and that's how we come up with our ideas. So I can totally relate in terms of how they come a lot, and you got to document it, or else it's too hard to
Yep.
remember.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to read it. Sherry, you want to introduce who was just in the background there? Who we got? You're muted, Sherry. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Unmute. Unmute. You're still muted. There we
There we
go.
go.
Who we got?
This is my grandson Dakota,
Hello,
and
Dakota.
they're
Oh,
they're outside in my driveway skateboarding. He is so dirty. He wants a picture of his mother when she was little.
he's very
She was
beautiful, by the
skateboarding.
way.
Yeah,
There you go. Well, nice
I'll
to
find
see you,
one.
Dakota. I want to read this to all three of you ladies. I captured this quote a couple of years ago. Rock star David Byrne, who was the frontman for Talking Heads, if you've heard of him, he was
Yeah.
interviewed on a show called Stephen Johnson's How Ideas Happen podcast. And here's what rock star David Byrne said. You're already more creative than you think. You just need to pay attention to your ideas. And he
That's
said, sometimes I have just the title of a song that comes to me and I write it down. And I go to myself, expand on that. I think there's something there. I also have in my computer a whole lot of musical ideas that maybe have a melody, a nonsense word melody, awaiting words. But I need something to start with. It's hard to start from nothing. I'll
yeah.
accumulate these very little beginnings. That's what I call this quote. When I come back, I've got something to build on. And here's the rest. I think this was his quote as well. Our minds fizz with fragments of ideas, puzzles to ponder, clues on how to fix a problem. Most of us
Hmm.
undervalue that chatter. Writers and artists systematically capture the little beginnings. He said he just will take one thing from the list and he'll say, I'm going to give it 30 minutes to see if I can improve it. Isn't that intriguing?
That's perfect. Yeah,
I
very
keep,
much so.
I keep that in
Exactly
my
on
notes.
point.
We've got about 6 minutes left, and I'm going to go read some things to you, ladies. We have plenty of time, actually. So, words of wisdom. Kurt Vonnegut, you've heard of him, American humorist, author of satirical and darkly humorous, 14 novels, only 14 novels, Sherry, 3 short story collections, 5 plays, 5 nonfiction. He wrote for over 50 years, and more have been published since his death. And he said, go into the arts. I'm not kidding. The arts are not a way to make a living. They're a very human way of making life more bearable. Practice an art no matter how well or badly. It's a way to make your soul grow, for heaven's sake. Sing in the shower. Rana, that's for you. Sing. I forgot that was in here. Sing in the shower, dance to the radio, tell stories, write a poem to a friend, even a lousy poem. Do it as well as you possibly can. You'll get an enormous reward. You will have created something. Is that a beautiful quote? I've
He's,
had that in my notes for ages.
love
He
that.
passed away at 84 in the year 2007. I want to dedicate I belong to a poetry group. And by the way, this week, Sherry, is April 1st, is Wednesday.
Yeah.
We go into PAD, the Poem a Day Challenge. We get a prompt every day from the moderator for the entire month of April. And I haven't missed an April or November poem a day in 3 years. So I've written about 800 poems
Wow.
so far.
Wow.
And during the rest of the year, we get only on Wednesday. So I have every Wednesday and then 30 days in April and 30 days. Yeah. And I usually do 2 or 3 poems. It's going to be interesting. But this was an acrostic I wrote on July 24th, 2024. And the prompt was night shift. Write a poem about night shift. Now, we're not talking rhymey kinds of poems like I did with the opening. I don't call those poems, I call them rhyming bios. But I took the word night shift and I created an acrostic. And I'm just going to nod towards you when I pick each letter. So it's NIGHTSHIFT. And here's the poem, and I dedicate this to all of you. Never quite really at rest. It's the life of a creative. Going, gripping, gyrating, growling, groaning, growing, highs and lows, flowing on a mental Mobius strip. The days are the nights are the days again, shifting off and on, into and out of gear, hoping for unique brilliance even once. It's a calling, command, curse, roller coaster. Finding eureka, euphoria amid frustration, fears. Thus is the life of a creative. I dedicate that to the 3 of you.
I love that.
Oh, thank
Bonnie,
you.
that's
That
all
is
for you.
great.
And then I have a funny one. He said the prompt was blank like blank. And so I wrote an acrostic with BLANKLIKEBLANK. And I wrote silly like me. Here it is. Believe in love always. Never kiss a leprechaun in a kayak. Every boat's like a nervous kangaroo. Okay. There you go. That's the beauty of free form writing there. Let me see what else.
I love it.
In 2014, I
gosh.
closed my shows. 2014, you know how many years ago that is? Don't remind me. Top 10 tips for women. And the first one was aspire to be Barbie. The biatch has everything.
Oh, it's true.
Here's another one. This one applies to all of us. Need a support group? Cocktail hour with the girls. There you go.
Yes,
And
that's
another
right.
one, lead me not into temptation. I can find it myself. I think I know how to do that. Don't get your knickers in a knot. It makes you walk funny. And when
It
life
does.
gives you lemons, make lemonade and add vodka. There you go. And let me see, we're just about out. You know what? What's your favorite thing about your own creativity? Just quickly, 1 or 2 sentences around the table. Rana, I know pressure, but I'll start with you. What do you love about your own creativity that really gets you excited about writing and speaking and thinking and all the things you do? 1 sentence with a couple
That
of
helps
commas.
other people to come alive. I get people to open up.
I like that.
Yeah.
Julie, what's your favorite thing about your creativity?
Surprised myself.
Ooh, powerful. Sherry?
It's getting the stuff out of the Slambovian circus in my head onto paper.
Very interesting. And mine is I have recently started a brand new show. Sherry knows about it. I woke up one day and I said, I want to be on the air live streaming every weekday for an entire year. And January 1st, I started. I'm going to play the outro music in a minute. It's called Say What? Good News with Bonnie D. And it's 4 minutes long every day. I'll play the music. I created the music, the graphics, and everything. And it's just me introducing a couple of Stories that most people have never heard of. No politics, no doom and gloom, no disease, no sadness, no badness. And it's just fun. Today I did the tallest man in the world. And I do things about kids who are 14 who invent things that they're selling 15,000 units a day. And I do things about wineries on an old potato field in Ireland that somebody decided they're starting a winery. All kinds of just fun stuff. And I spend a lot of time each week just researching. And every morning I do about 4 minutes. And that's it. And it has and I just woke up one day and said, I'm going to do it. That was it. Rana, it just was there. It was just sitting there. I'll send you all the link. So now I've got to hightail out of here. So here we go. Life is short. Break the rules. Well, ladies, we're already doing that. Forgive quickly. I've never learned how to do that. I'm sorry. Kiss slowly. That I know how to do. Love truly. Laugh uncontrollably. Ladies, laugh with me. 1, 2, 3. Don't hurt yourself. And never regret anything that made you smile. Final closing. Work like you don't need the money. Dance like no one's watching. When I taught disco, line dances in a high school cafeteria, 225 people signed up. They wouldn't give me a stage. I had to dance on a Formica tabletop, and everybody watched to see if my high heels would tumble, and I didn't. I made them give me a stage the third week. I made $3 an hour, and my partner got $5 an hour because he was the teacher. Sing like nobody's listening. I didn't sing much today. No, I didn't. And love like you've never been hurt. We all have. Let your heart rejuvenate, regrow, regroup. Right, Julie? Learn to love again. There we go. Money talks, chocolate sings. La! I do sing on that one. And last but not least, I stole this line from somebody years ago, and I just love it. Thank you for turning me on. And let's go to our outro music. And ladies, let's just dance me out. Here we go. This is the music to the new show, Rana. Say what? Good news. Say what? I created this in Suno in case anybody's interested. Morning coffee in my cup. Decaf, please. Scrolling. I've had enough. Same old drama. Same old feed. Flip that dial. That's what I need. Turn it up. Let the bad vibes stay. Headline. Hit play. Good news. Let's talk about it. Lift that mood. Good people. Ladies, it's been absolutely lovely having you. Don't go away. We'll talk a little bit, okay? Wave bye-bye. This groove is for you. We are out. If I can get us out. Here we go.